Ang susunod na programa ay rated PG. Ito ay nangangailangan ng patnubay at gabay ng magulang para sa mga batang manonood.
Good evening, world. You are tuning in to CS News. From Tokyo to China to New York to Down Under. These two notorious men have been infiltrating or trending all over the world. These notorious men are hackers, someone who seeks and exploits weakness in a computer system or computer network. These two men may have the same beginning but different endings. Tonight, we will tell the world the story about how a 16-year-old boy named Jonathan James infiltrated North America's highly secured facility, NASA, and also how did a 14-year-old boy named James Costa get convicted of 45 counts of technical burglary and convicted to 45 years in prison. We are calling an Ibon to tell us what really happened or what did Jonathan James do.
It was in 1999 that a young hacker with the nickname of Comrade, better known as Jonathan James, accomplished an exploit against the US Army, Pentagon, and NASA at the age of 16. On June 29 and 30, 1999, this young hacker made a mess of NASA using simple Pentium computer. He gained access by breaking the password of a server belonging to the government agency located in Alabama. He was able to freely roam the network and stole several files, including source codes of International Space Station. According to NASA, the value of the documents stolen by James was estimated at around $1.7 million. To stop the attack, NASA was forced to turn off its system and reboot them, incurring a loss of $41,000. Before breaking into the most secured system of the US government, James committed a series of intrusion into various systems, including of those Bell South and Miami-Dade school system. However, his intrusion of the Defense Threat Reduction Agency brought him the attention of federal authorities. James later admitted to authorities that he had installed an unauthorized backdoor, a method of bypassing which he used to install a sniffer that allowed him to interact over 3,000 messages passing to and from DTRA employees, along with numerous usernames and passwords of other DTRA employees, including at least 10 unofficial military computers. The capture of the young hacker was fast, with NASA doing everything it could to find him. James' house was raided at approximately 6 a.m. on January 26, 2000 by agents from Department of Defense, NASA, and the Pine Coast Police Department. Legal experts have suggested that given the extent of his intrusion, he could have served 10 years of his crime if he had been an adult.
Thank you, Ebon. James ended up serving 6 months in jail when he violated parole with a positive drug test. On May 18, 2008, Jonathan James was found dead in his shower with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. His suicide was apparently motivated by the belief that he would be prosecuted for crimes he did not commit. He left a note saying, "I honestly had nothing to do with TJX. I have no faith in the justice system. Perhaps my actions today and this letter will send a stronger message to the public. Either way, I have lost control over the situation, and this is my only way to regain control." Jonathan James' end may have been the worst for notorious hacker, but James Costa proved that men with bad beginnings may have better endings. We have Sheena Diagbell in line.
For a software developer, James Costa, life was played virtually like a video game with a new character on every level. Before being a global hacker, he was a kid earning money from IT consulting work. By his 30th birthday, he was already earning $1,500 a month. He sought emancipation from his parents in Kurt. Alone with nobody to rein him in, he turned his knack for computer into low-level hacking. But his solo activities soon caught the attentions of the online criminal underworld, and he was swiftly recruited into a criminal hacking collective. He hacked almost everything from banks, military networks, IBM, and GE. He was found guilty of 45 counts of technical burglary and sentenced 45 years in jail. At 20, he joined the CIA tracking funds of war cords in Africa and Middle East. At 24, he sold his first dot-com company for $10 million. Now 37, he became the founder of 3G Studios, a game development firm earning over $10 million a year. Tonight, we have Mr. Costa live. Mr. Costa, how did you turn your computer skills to hacking?
I fell in with a bad crowd, focused on what networks we could get into, both military and commercial. Just like gangs in the mob have initiations, if you want to be part of the most high-profile, advanced hacking groups, you have to cut your teeth. It was nothing destructive. A lot of it was for bragging rights, to say you pulled something off.
How were you able to get out of the 45-year sentence?
After being in for almost a year, the judge agreed to suspend my sentence if I didn't commit another crime, and I agreed to join the military when I was eligible. I think what he saw was an intelligent kid who needed a discipline. For me, it was a no-brainer. I knew if I went to maximum security for youth, a guy like me probably wouldn't have a good experience. In between, they stuck me in a boys' camp in Santa Barbara. We were a second line of fighting forest fires. To see those firefighters in action and have them respect me meant a lot and shaped me as a man. That's when I first realized I could be helpful to people instead of being nefarious.
Do you see any way the story of your own life has come to full circle?
I was an intelligent, rebellious youth, but my grades and attendance record weren't the sole indicators for my potential contribution to society. Ultimately, society suffers when we're that myopic. When you look a little deeper, as people did with me, you're able to get kids focused on their potential. A huge part of my company is focusing on teen mentoring for troubled youth. That's something I owe to the people who helped me.
Thank you, Mr. Costa, for coming here and inspiring us with your story.
Happy to be here.
Back to you, Quincy.
That was an inspiring story indeed. Tonight, we have realized that today, we are not safe even online. If the government can be infiltrated by a male child, how much more people like us who don't have high-tech security system like theirs? But also a twist in these unfortunate events are people who, even with a bad start, learn to drive their life into a better future. This had been Quincy. Thank you for tuning in CS News. Good night, everyone.